Wolbach, your friendly public adjuster. I wanted to talk today real quick about scoping of a damaged home. And just what does that word scope mean? Scope is a term that's used when you go out, either an insurance adjuster or a public adjuster, and is assessing the damage. They will, and you know, I'm doing this writing bit, they don't do that much anymore. It's more of putting calculations and putting information in. You know, some people will still draw up and should draw up a floor plan. Sometimes you have a floor plan in your software. It's amazing how software's progressed. Point is, excuse me, they're going to go to your house, they're going to look at the situation, and they should duplicate that on their system so that when they go back to work up their estimate, they have all the facts of how much has been damaged. And when this has been damaged, because it's affected this over here, this has to be replaced, and to remove and replace, or remove and you know, all these different things that go on, right? That's all part of how they do an estimate. The point is, where are you qualified to do something like that? You want to go in and take a measurements of how much sheetrock has been damaged, and with that wall, that's going to take 1.5 sheets of sheetrock. We're going to have to repaint. The way the ceiling is, the ceiling comes down below, so we need to remove the ceiling first. It's a drop ceiling. We've got to take that tracking system out, and to be able to get up in there, you know, all sorts of things that go on that you don't normally think about. And you know, we need to, of course, take the molding, the trim off all around the perimeter, because we're going to replace, or maybe things have gotten wet and we're going to cut X amount of feet up from the drywall, and that's going to get blown and circulated of air to dry things out. And you have a situation where there are things that are in the way to be able to get to something else that you need to actually remove. So all these things become line items that are put together, and then there's dollar values, and you have a dollar value of the cost of the material, and you have a dollar value of what the labor is to work with that certain item, that component, if you will, if we're dealing with fans and fixtures and things like that. So all these things come into play, and you itemize them. Now, that is the way that you should put together an estimate for insurance to pay on. How many homeowners are qualified to do something like that? Most of them are not. They really are not. Most of them don't understand all the construction that goes on. And for those that do understand construction, don't still necessarily understand all the different things. And more often than not, they don't understand what is actually covered under a policy and what is not. So, you know, to try to enforce the policy, you're at a disadvantage. That's why there are public adjusters. Public adjusters can come in. They will represent your best interests. That's right. They team up with you. They are there to help you, to represent you against the insurance company, to make sure that you get paid fairly on all the damage that has ensued there. You know, if you have a hot water heater that goes, maybe it's on the first floor, got hardwood floors, you got carpeting. I had a situation years ago where the hot water heater went. She had a nice hardwood floor that was the dining room and kitchen. Then we came into carpeting. Well, the hot water heater, 40 gallons plus, because it ran for a period of time, ended up migrating from the kitchen and dining area with hardwood floors damaging into the living room. Well, it ruined the carpet in the living room, and that same carpet, and this is a, you know, like a nightmare situation. This is what we call continuous. So the first floor, the living room, was carpeted. It actually went up the steps, and up at the steps then, the landing and the bedrooms that it shot off, it stopped at the landing. It did not go into the bedrooms. But all that carpeting from the living room, going up the steps, to that landing and the hallway all got replaced because of how insurance works. Now, if you don't go in there and know what you're doing, I've had many times accounts where it's decided that they will cut, maybe only half of the carpet was damaged or a quarter of the carpet was damaged in the living room. So they'll cut that, and then they'll pay to have someone come in and piece it and seam it so that you would get, just a certain portion done, not doing the whole thing. Or they'll do the whole living room. All right, we'll do the living room. But when you get to the step, in the corner of the step when you have the tread, the riser, now they're going to cut it there, and they'll just piece that to fall in. Oh, and there's only a little shade off. The texture's not quite the same, the tough, but don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it. I need to be, you as a homeowner, from a public adjuster standpoint, our job is to restore you back to what's known as pre-loss conditions. And the only way we can do that is that we need to pull whatever's been damaged, as far as that reaches, all of that has to come out and all new go in. That's just the way it is. We don't want anybody throwing any carpet cleaning allowances out. Have a professional cleaner come in and they're going to go in and wash and clean your carpet there. Steam the carpet. There you go. I couldn't think of that. That's a bunch of baloney. That's not how it gets worked. That's no good. That's what a public adjuster, that's what's called value added. Again, looking out for your best interests. We look at this thing as if it's our own home. Well, it makes a big difference. Are we guided by what it's going to cost? No. We're guided by what's it take to restore it back to the way it was prior to this thing happening. That's what's our guide. That's our mission. We need to account for every little, now this doesn't apply, but the term, every nut and bolt, okay, that has been damaged during this loss, we need to take care of it. That's what we do for you as a public adjuster. Don't try this on your own. The statistics by far are going to be against you. And you're the one that will suffer later. Things that don't get addressed now during that period of filing a claim, it's going to come back and haunt you later. You'll end up out of pocket doing this yourself. And it's a shame. It's needless. There's no reason to go through this. You've paid for insurance over the years. You have a contract with the insurance company. You suffered damage. You didn't cause it. The insurance company didn't cause it either. But the bottom line is the insurance company says, we offered this policy to you. You paid the premium. Now, if something happens, we have to do our part. Well, let's get them to do their part. That's all. I'm not asking for anything more. I'm just asking for what they need to do for their part. Guys, I hope this makes some sense to you. I hope this can alert you to how serious this stuff is. People take it way too lightly. I don't understand it. I really don't. What can I tell you? People are people, right? Anyway, the bottom line is, guys, if you learned something from this, would you give me one of these? And, of course, share this, would you? And, of course, subscribe. Perhaps you have some friends that have just had some damage recently. Maybe I can help them. Doesn't cost a cent to talk. It really doesn't. There's a lot you can learn. I have no problem giving information out. Guys, I appreciate you listening. I hope that this is beneficial to you and will be beneficial to others. Guys, be safe out there, and God bless you.